What's going on, everyone? It is a new day, and that means that we've got a new event in Capybara Go. I am excited as well. We've been kind of sitting on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle event for quite some time, and it is no longer plaguing our screen, which is fantastic. So we've got the Easter Festival, not necessarily a new event, but an event that we haven't seen for a while. And honestly, Easter Festival is one of the few events where you can really mess up in. Like, you can actually mess up your entire reward structure if you do not know how this event works. So I figured just drop a couple updates on that for you all, as well as what I'll be picking up in the shop, especially with how the game has shifted. I also wanted to touch on the Homestead just a little bit here at the end of the video, just give you all my thoughts on it. I know a lot of people hate it, but we'll talk about that at the end. So Easter Festival, like I mentioned, this is one of the few events where you can really mess up on. Unlike the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle event, where if you just don't do like the guild event battle, the Turtle Clan's Revenge, I think it's called, well, you don't miss out on a whole lot. And if you just buy gems into the event and you use them to spin the little thing, well, you're gonna get most of the rewards that you can get from it. The Easter Festival is a lot different. So first things first, you got missions. This is just play the game, right? Draw equipment, open eggs, open chests, make black market purchases, and just play the game in general. This isn't really a consideration. These little egg brushes are each time you complete an event, you will end up getting, as you can see here, the little eggs. And you can see how many eggs you have by looking here. And what you're going to be doing is just going to be planting all of the eggs. As the eggs are growing, you're going to be able to potentially use your little paint brushes or the egg brushes to speed up egg growth. Really, I only use these on the 8-hour or 4-hour ones. The 4 to 10 to 15 minutes, they go by so fast that you don't really need to. Now, if you are looking to go ahead and pick up some more eggs, you can pick up eggs using gems. Is it really worthwhile? Well, we'll talk about that in just a moment. But after you pick up these eggs, or after you plant them, you're going to harvest them, and you're going to harvest them into the eggs that are shown here. For example, these little blue and white, or like blue, green, and white eggs, and then the green and blue egg, and the gold and the king egg. All of them get harvested into their respective areas. The ones that are most important are the gold and the king egg. These are going to give you the golden coins, which you're really looking for. Again, are these the specific names? No, I think they actually have what's it called? I think they have the specific names in here, I guess bunny gold coins or whatever. But as you could see, the prices of the eggs vary, and this is really, really important. There are certain probabilities with each egg. Now, as far as I understand, as long as nothing has changed, I can give you the exact ratios or the exact ranges of the egg prices. And this is where the actual way you can mess up your event comes into play. So each one of these eggs has ranges which you can sell. Now, the sell, if you scroll through your friend list, everyone's going to have their own specific price in which you can sell your eggs at. If you do not sell your eggs manually, at the end of your 24 hours or whatever time it shows right here, it will show, or it will rather sell all of your eggs at the prices in which it shows right in front of you. So as an example, each crop price kind of shifts throughout the day over the course of time. And as an example, 33 silver coins, if I were to wait until this 23-hour period and I don't sell it manually, I will sell it for literally that 33 coins with these little blue, green, and white striped eggs. However, I can manually sell it for 147 a piece because someone else on my friend list has a higher price value. And remember, this shifts throughout the day, depending on if people are refreshing or if you're just waiting during time periods in which it'll refresh. So it's really important that you're selling these at the proper prices. Now, what are the proper prices? How do you know when and how to sell at? Well, generally, I try to get close to the maximum value of selling, but I'm not going to really worry about min-maxing it specifically. Just make sure that you are selling them manually so that you don't get the lower value that your shop specifically has. Sometimes you will have the highest value you could sell it for out of your, friend grouping, but most cases you will not. And so for this, we're going to go from top to bottom, left to right. this blue and white, blue, green, and white striped egg, and this green and blue egg, these two top ones, should have a maximum sell value of 225 based on the previous event. And that means that you're going to want to get somewhere around 200 if you can. If you can. Now that's, not 100% guaranteed, but that's just kind of where you're aiming for. For the second tier here, you're looking at max sell value of 675. Now, again, are you going to get to 675 most of the time? No. So you're going to aim around 600 is usually what I aim for. For example, this free-to-play one, the 564, this is a reasonable unit price to sell at, and I probably would consider selling it for that if I see it. So you're going to want to check the shop often throughout the day. Now, here's the real kicker. These two bottom ones are the key. As I said, the golden coins are always the more premium currency. So the golden egg, its max sell value is 135. Now, you're really going to want to aim as high as you possibly can get for these ones. It's about 120 for this one. And then for the king egg, I just call it the king because it's got the little crown. Its max sell value is 405. So you're really looking at about 365. So this... the 365 as the sell value is what you're aiming for. So this unit price right here, the 348, that's really close to what I'm looking for. So to be honest, I would probably just take that and be happy with it in most cases. Now you can refresh the shop manually. My prices are so poor, I'm just going to refresh it to show as an example. You obviously don't want to refresh it if you have a really good price. Even if just one of your eggs has a good price, keep it. And everyone else is going to benefit from it. And you're going to benefit from selling it at that big price. So yes, keep your eggs if they have a good price. Even one of them has a good price, keep it. Please, 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 please keep it. Do not re-roll it. And you could re-roll it using some of these tickets or just the free, ad watches, or if you have the ad card, you can skip that, which is great. But it's really important that you do sell it at those higher prices, because if you don't, you're getting far less currency than you otherwise could have, and you're not going to be able to purchase anything in the shop. So that's the skill associated with this event. It's not really too tricky. It's just, I got these eggs, so I better sell them at the best price I can. Now, that said, what do we actually get from the event? Now, as per usual with this shop, for the gold coins, we've got the awakening cores and the mount cores for, awakening cores for artifacts and the mount awakening cores, which I would generally suggest to be skipping. Now, yes, some of the awakening cores will give you a little bit of permanent increase in value. Very, very minimal. But generally, these are kind of like the min-maxing portions of the game after you've already gotten situated with like mythic brands, mythic gear levels, all that type of stuff. That should be your focus. So my suggestion with these gold coins are going to be this area right here. All these purple boxes are all excellent. I would recommend picking up the legendary chest. It's usually a pretty good one. The gem chest in general is pretty good. The blessing synergy scroll is something that is a little bit more rare as well. That one is also a pretty good price. And if you really are, or if you do have rather, some really nice gems that are in the immortal, transcendent, or supreme area, and you do want to start re-rolling them, honestly, the advanced alchemy regions aren't too bad either. But my main focus will be in this section right here. There's only one S rank gear and S rank weapon selection box, so nothing too crazy here. 100% get the S epic legacy box, no questions asked. And then I would also focus on limited brands if you don't have, your mythic joker or mythic whatever else you're looking for. These are going to be kind of the key. But that's where you're going to be spending your gold coins on. The blessing synergy scroll for me, I will also be getting the S epic legacy box. I'm going to get the S rank gear box over the weapon because I already have my mythic weapon, so it's not as important to me. And I'll probably be going for the gem and the alchemy regions, and then after that, probably the limited brands. If you would like to get, an artifact upgraded, then you're welcome to. But really, these awakening cores are less valuable because really what you want to be doing is upgrading your actual artifact level, not the, awakening level. It's not as powerful. So these are very, very weak in terms of what you're actually getting from your gold coin investment, or in general, your coin investment. Now, for the normal exchange, honestly, this is where it gets a little bit more exciting to me, because we have the new gem keys in here, and 100%. These are 100% what you should be picking up. You should be picking up both keys, gem keys and legendary keys. You should be picking up the wishing scrolls, and you should be picking up the elite packs. No questions asked. All of these should be picked up. Afterwards, I would recommend the inheritance book boxes. This is actually a really solid price for them for this event. And then after that, you could consider looking at, maybe your homestead coins, which we'll talk about in just a moment. Your bunny gold could be an option. Everstones aren't bad. Some of the resources down here. Honestly, after I get through the keys, though, the elite packs, the wishing scrolls, and the books, the next stop I make is going to be the epic legacy box, 100%. Now, some of these are a little bit easier to obtain, but if you haven't picked up your mythic ones, 100% be picking up that epic legacy box. Then you could also pick up your random hero boxes. This is really dependent on if you have multiple options in here that are actually good for you. Maybe go for it. I generally steer away from these, and I actually do go for the Mount Core boxes just because it does add a little bit of speed to it, and all the other resources are kind of minimally valuable. You got the important ones: the keys, the scrolls, the elite packs, and the books. Epic legacy box, those are the important ones, and then get some mount selection boxes. And really, generally the higher rarity ones are a little bit more valuable in terms of the speed to coin ratio that you're spending, and speed is really the important part about this. But if you need 2 boxes total, like instead of 30 cores you need 60 tokens, then I would just go for whichever one has just that 30 tokens. As an example here, if I were to pull up this and I were to awaken this mount, the roach +4 only requires 30 more to awaken, but some of these like rare ones that I have require 60, and you can see here they actually don't even increase my speed anymore, so I'm not even getting all that much value from it because I've already gotten the easy speed to get. So now I'm focusing on other mounts. So really just focus on the mounts that give you a little bit of extra speed, generally is how I look at it. So that's the Easter Festival. That is what you're going to be doing. Now, real quick, I just want to touch on the Homestead, and this is a perfect example of what the Homestead is able to do. Is you get a little decoration on your home screen. Now, if we click into the Homestead, there are, a lot of things about this. I'm going to say this first off. I'm not a huge fan of this system, but I don't hate it. And I'm surprised that it has such a negative reaction as it does. To me, this is kind of like a fun cosmetic update that for those of you that really enjoy this stuff is going to be amazing. And for those of you that don't really care about this stuff is kind of just like whatever, an addition. What about the practicality of this thing? So yes, we can adjust kind of the background. We can move some things around. We can edit them. We can add certain things. We can make it look pretty, right? Love that. I can add some birdhouses. Ooh, cool. Look at me. I'm going in and I can put stuff down. And each thing I put down is going to basically increase my fashion level. Or the more things I get, the more, my homestead level is going to be increased. But what about the practicality of this event? What is it actually giving us? So first off, the shop. You could see here there are lots and lots and lots of different things that you can pick up. I don't have, let's say, a grill rack. If I were to purchase this, you can see, let me get that little grill rack place. Got to put it in a good spot. And I were to go to the shop, you can see I got my fashion level increased, and I can actually unlock this chest, which gives me homestead coins, which allows me to actually pick up homestead buildings, which again, a little bit more important because why is it important? Well, the fashion level. So the fashion level is where you're going to get all the valuable kind of little fashion points. And each fashion level that you get is going to increase your overall stats by a small amount. It is not a huge deal. You could pretty much ignore it and you'll be totally fine. Would I recommend spending gems on this thing? Yeah, not really. It really doesn't do a whole lot. But that's kind of what it's for, is you just decorate your homestead, right? It is just for the fun of it. So if you like it, great. If you don't, you can kind of ignore it and you miss out only minor stats. Again, is it worth spending gems on this thing? No, not typically. Not to do, upgrading your homestead or upgrading your fashion level. The stats don't really scale all that well. What about the Easter Festival? Are you going to be spending, gems on this? I would also not recommend it. I don't think the exchanges are very great. The gold coin ones, you're going to be able to get the ones that you really want, which are the boxes and the Epic Legacy box, the Blessing Synergy Scroll. They have purchase limits. So really, you're only going for that if you want to be getting these Awakening Cores for your artifacts and your mounts. And not only that, but we also have the Big Adventure live right now, which, as per typical, what do? We come in here and we pick up our 100 books every single time this thing shows up. And, like I said, I'm a man of my word. I see it show up, I get my books, and I am good to go for now. That's how this thing works. You just pick up those books and you wait for the next round until you can get another dragon grill, right? So just something to keep in mind with that one. Because of the Big Adventure, that's going to drain your gems. And we do have another event coming very quickly. So in the updates here, we do have a full moon night event, which I'm not sure what this is. I don't think we've had it in the game since I've been playing. It's from October 6th to October 15th. So it is coming quickly. And you're going to be able to, collect various moon cakes and exchanging that for rare items. So that can also be exchanged for the new Lightning Forbidden Arcane Tome, furniture, statues, and other exclusive rewards. So looks like there's going to be some more rewards for another event. The Easter egg celebration event is usually not like a fantastic event in terms of a bunch of rewards. So kind of pass on it. Well, I mean, do the event, do all the tasks, but don't spend gems on the event. It's really not a great conversion rate, especially if you're able to get all of the silver coin ones in the first place. Like if you can get in the normal exchange all your elite packs, keys, scrolls, and inheritance books, and in the advanced exchange you can get your Blessing Synergy Scroll, the S Epic Legacy box, and maybe the S Rank Gear box, yeah, I'm good to go. I don't need to spend gems on the event. I've gotten kind of what I wanted out of the event. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Hopefully you get those maximum rewards, guys, and I'll see you all for the next one.